In a town that no longer appears on any map, stands a hospital with no records, no staff, and no known survivors. Locals call it cursed. But one night, a girl entered its rusted gates and remembered things she never should have forgotten. What if you visited a place so haunted? It started unlocking your own hidden past. A group of 4 friends, Alex, the fearless leader, Mia, the skeptic, Sam, the tech expert, and Sophie, the quiet one, arrives at the gates of St. Alden's Hospital under the cover of darkness. Armed with cameras, night vision goggles, and ghost hunting tools, they enter the hospital. The air is thick with an unnatural chill, and the heavy silence is almost suffocating. As they step through the rotting doors, a sudden loud bang echoes from inside, followed by faint, hollow whispers. They freeze, unsure of what they just heard. Maybe it's just the wind, Mia says, but there's a tremor in her voice. The group begins their investigation, setting up cameras and using EVP, electronic voice phenomena, recorders to capture any strange sounds. As Sam moves toward the back of the hospital, his thermal camera picks up something unusual, a cold spot that moves across the wall. It's not just a draft, it's something more sinister. Suddenly, the group hears a loud bang from the second floor. Mia, usually the skeptic, is visibly shaken. That's not normal, she mutters, as the cold breeze intensifies. They stumble upon a locked door marked, Ward 13. The door is mysteriously ajar, but an eerie force seems to hold it in place. Alex forces the door open with a crowbar, revealing a room filled with decaying hospital beds and long-forgotten medical equipment. It looks like time has stood still here. The room feels oppressive, as though it's holding its breath. As Sophie steps closer to one of the beds, her eyes widen with recognition. "I know this room," she whispers. "This is where they kept me before I escaped." Everyone turns to her in shock. Sophie, their quiet friend, has a hidden past, a past that connects her to the very hospital they're investigating. As they explore the ward, they are drawn to a bed covered with tattered sheets. When Sophie approaches it, the air turns freezing cold. The whispers grow louder, forming words that make no sense at first. Then, suddenly, a ghostly figure materializes at the foot of the bed, a woman dressed in a tattered hospital gown, her eyes hollow and filled with sorrow. The figure speaks in a voice like a whisper in a windstorm. "They did this to me. They made me forget, they made me suffer. But I will never forget. You'll never leave." The group is paralyzed with fear as the figure reveals that her name was Evelyn, a former patient who was locked away in Ward 13 and subjected to cruel experiments. She explains that the hospital staff had been involved in dark, forbidden rituals, trying to unlock the mind's deepest fears and secrets, but instead, they unleashed something much worse, an ancient evil that now haunts the hospital.
Evelyn, the spirit, wasn't just a victim. She had been part of the ritual herself. The reason she hasn't moved on is that her soul is tethered to the hospital. She needs the group's help to complete the ritual, but they won't be able to leave once they do. The group realizes that the only way to stop the ghosts and escape is to destroy the remnants of the dark ritual. But Sophie confesses something even more shocking. She wasn't just a former patient. She was the last surviving test subject of the experiments. The doctors had used her in their twisted quest to create an unbreakable connection between the living and the dead. Sophie reveals that the only way to break the curse is to face the source of the ritual, the altar deep in the hospital's labyrinthine basement. But there's a catch. If they destroy the altar, Sophie will be forced to confront her past and face the dark spirit that now controls her. The group descends into the hospital's catacombs, where the altar of the dark ritual lies. The air grows suffocating, and strange figures loom in the darkness. They must fight off restless spirits and navigate traps set by the hospital staff to keep the altar safe. As they near the altar, Sophie is consumed by an overwhelming force. The spirit of Evelyn tries to pull her into the other realm, but Sophie refuses to let go of her humanity. In a last-ditch effort, she sacrifices herself to destroy the altar and close the gateway forever. The hospital begins to crumble as the spirits are freed, but Sophie's sacrifice allows the group to escape. As they leave the crumbling building, they realize that while the spirits are gone, the memories of that night will haunt them forever. But one question remains: was the hospital truly destroyed? As the group drives away, they notice something chilling. Sophie's reflection, faint but clear, appears in the rearview mirror. "The curse of St. Alden's Hospital is not over yet," a voice whispers from the back seat.